Edit.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm still Eric Lindsay, professor of music. This is my 5th video in my series of the fundamentals of music theory. In this video, we're going to dive into key signatures. So let's get started. So a key signature tells you two main things. First, it's going to indicate which notes in a piece are modified by accidentals. So basically, when does something turn from a natural note to a raised or lowered note? That's an accidental. And the accidentals that we talked about previously, as we know, is a flat or a sharp. So second, it's also going to show which notes in this scale are going to be named after that key. So let's break it down. Here's a key signature with 5 flats. This represents the key of D flat major. Regarding the first point, it tells us which notes are altered by accidentals. So anytime you see a note on the B line, it becomes B flat. Notes on the E line are E flat. All A's are A flat, and so on. Hopefully that's clear. It also informs us about the D flat major scale. So for any scale, we assume that all notes are going to be natural, the white keys, except if they're altered by the key signature. So here we have the 7 letter names, A through G. And to form the D flat major scale, we apply the accidentals from the key signature. A becomes A flat, B becomes B flat, and so on. And there you have it, the D flat major scale. Notice that we didn't need to build this from scratch using whole steps and half steps. Instead, we used the key signature to construct the scale quickly. Key signatures are going to provide a faster, easier way to remember your scales, and that's the good news. However, we still need to memorize the key signatures. So fortunately, there's a system called the circle of fifths. It's an arrangement of all 12 notes into a sequence where each pitch is separated by the next by 7 semitones, or a perfect fifth. Starting on C, moving up 7 semitones takes us to G, up another 7 semitones is going to take us to D, and so on around the circle. So this sequence is going to cover all 12 notes once, and then it's going to bring us back to C. Notice that the bottom positions have 2 names. These are enharmonic spellings that just basically allows us to shift from reading these as sharp keys versus those that read as flat keys. So the circle of fifths is going to tell us 2 things: how many accidentals are in each key and which accidentals are in each key. Let's start with the first, the number of accidentals in major keys. Moving clockwise from C on the circle of fifths, we add a sharp at each step. C has no sharps and flats. G has 1 sharp, D has 2 sharps, A has 3, E has 4, B has 5, F sharp has 6. By the time we reach C sharp, all 7 notes of the scales are sharp. Now let's determine which notes receive accidentals. Moving clockwise around the circle, we sharpen 1 new note at each step. C has no sharps and flats, but when we move that same pattern of whole and half steps, we need a leading tone at G, and G has F, which is a whole tone away. Let's raise that to turn into an F sharp. So G, the key of G major, has an F sharp on top to create our leading tone to G. D is going to keep that F sharp, and then it's going to add C sharp to create the leading tone to D. A is going to keep F sharp and C sharp and add G sharp to be the leading tone to A, and so on until C sharp has all 7 sharps. B sharp is the last leading tone to C sharp. You might have surmised here that in major keys, the last sharp in the key signature is our leading tone. If the last sharp in the key signature is A sharp, the key is B major. If it's D sharp, it's E major. You just need to remember that we add sharps starting with F sharp, and then we just build them by counting up perfect fifths. The perfect fifth is that 7 semitones on the piano. For flats, moving counterclockwise, we're adding a flat to each step, keeping the flats that we had before. So starting with F, we add a B flat, then B flat, we add B flat and E flat, and so on until C flat has all 7 flats. Notice that the order of flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat, is the reverse order of sharps. And the rule that I like to remember with major keys that have flats in key signature, the last flat is the 4th scale degree. Notice that the first one we added was B flat in the key of F. If we started doing our whole and half step pattern, a whole step from F to G is a whole step. From G to A is a whole step. That first half step is that B flat from A to B flat. And then the whole step, half step just works with the regular white notes. So the last flat in the key signature that is a major key is going to be the 4th scale degree. How about I give you a shot? I'll give you 4 tasks, and you can use the circle of fifths to help you with your answer. For the first task, I'll write a scale, and I want you to convert it into a key signature telling what key we're in. Second, I'll give you the key signature, and I want you to be able to write the major scale starting on its tonic. Third and fourth, I'll give you a key, one using flats and the other using sharps, and I want you to write the key signature for those two keys. Go ahead and pause the video to work out your answers, pressing unpause once you've worked them out. For my first answer, I went from an E, built it up to an E, and I included F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. We can consult our circle of fifths and see that that is a key signature for E major. So for the second one, I gave you a key signature, and I want you to be able to write a major scale starting on its tonic. So your challenge here is going to be recognizing this key signature first. Two flats. We could go ahead and just hop over and look at it the circle of fifths, or we could remember the rule that we made earlier. The last flat in the major key is going to be the fourth scale degree. So E, you're going to have to do some algebra on this one. E flat is the fourth scale degree of what? Just count down 4 steps. E, D, C, B, and it's flatted here as well in the key signature. This is the fourth scale degree of a B flat major scale. And we can check it against our circle of fifths. Lo and behold, that is a B flat major scale. To make this scale using this key signature, all we have to do is find B, build the scale sequentially from this B flat to the B flat in the next octave, and we don't need to alter any of these notes. The key signature is handling those accidentals already. For the last two, we have two key signatures here. One of them has 5 sharps in the sharp key signatures. The last sharp is going to be the leading tone. It's going to be scale degree 7. And the last one of these we see is an A sharp. So A sharp is going to be the leading tone to B. Let's check it against the circle of fifths. Lo and behold, B major has 5 sharps in it. And for this last one, I just wrote down 4 flats. So we have to, in our mind, think about which key signature has 4 flats in it. So we can just go around in the circle. B flat is the first flat, and then a fifth below, E flat, a perfect fifth below, A flat, perfect fifth below, D flat. Are we in the key of D flat? No, because remember, the last flat is not our tonic, it is scale degree 4. So D is the 4th scale degree of what? We had D, C, B, A. This is actually A flat major. Now, you might also notice the circle of fifths has these little letters on the inside. What are these doing here? This is the relative minor. A relative minor has to do with a scale that is using the same sharps and flats, but just starting in a different location. In the key of C, if we go from C to C, playing only white notes, we build a C major scale. If we start on A, we build what's called an A natural minor. Every one of these nodes around the circle is going to include a major scale and a relative minor scale that use the same accidentals in their scales. They're just starting a third apart. Because the relative keys, the major version and the minor version, are going to be borrowing the same key signature. You don't know from a key signature alone whether the tune is in a major key or a minor key. We'll have to look at the music to see if it's emphasizing one of those key areas as its tonic. Usually this will be indicated in minor keys by the use of accidentals to create raised leading tones that aren't included in the key signature. We'll cover this more in our next video. I hope to see you there.